left home to embrace the religious life. If the Dharma of a Buddha existed at that time, he was a great savior teacher for the world. But if, at that time, the Dharma of a Buddha did not exist, he was a great heretic teacher practicing the four immeasurables. Although they are without impurities, the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas render only mediocre service. They are like a bushel of melted butter which, although shiny, is only the foam of the great ocean. The Bodhisattva himself, despite his impure wisdom and his maturations, renders immense service. Finally, in regard to the four kinds of purifications that are the auxiliaries to enlightenment, the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas have received a great deal from the Bodhisattva. Suramgama Samadhi Sutra. Thus it is said in the Shu Leng King, Manjushri was a Pratyeka Buddha 7,000 times, and by converting people to the Pratyeka Buddha vehicle, he helped them realize bodhi. This is why the Bodhisattva has precedence over the Sravakas and Pratyeka Buddhas. 2. Being the assistant of the Buddha. The Bodhisattva wants to be the assistant of the Buddhas. 1. Thus, when Sakyamuni had not yet left home, he had Tche as helper, Yotayi as playmate, Kyupayi, Yichuta and other women of the harem as his intimate entourage. 2. After he left home, during the 6 years in which he practiced asceticism, he had the Pancakas as assistants. 3. After his enlightenment, Mi-hai, Lo-tu-chu Natcha to Lo, Anan, Mi-tsi Li-che, etc. formed his close entourage. 3. Acquiring a great entourage. The Bodhisattva wishes to acquire a great entourage. Holy individuals such as Cho Li Fu, Mu Qianlian, Mo Ho Kia Cho, Shu Po Ti, Kia Chanyan, Fu Liu Na, Ani Lu Teou, etc. And also the non-regressing bodhisattvas, separated from Buddhahood by only one lifetime, such as Mi Lo, Wen Chu Che Li, Po to Po Lo, are called the great entourage of Sakyamuni. Furthermore, the Buddha has two kinds of bodies. 1. A body born of the fundamental element. 2. A body in accord with the world. The worldly body had the already mentioned entourage. As for the body born of the fundamental element, it had as assistants innumerable and incalculable bodhisattvas separated from Buddhahood by only one single existence. Y. Gandav Yuha Sutra. It is said in the Po-ko Sseu Yi Ki to King that when he was born, the Buddha was the head of 000 bodhisattvas separated from Buddhahood by only one existence, and that these bodhisattvas were born in his entourage like dark clouds encircling the moon. Sad Dharma Pundarika Sutra. It is said in the Fa Hua King that the bodhisattvas who arose from the earth each had a close entourage, a great entourage. 4. Acquiring a bodhisattva entourage. The bodhisattva wishes to acquire a bodhisattva entourage. There are Buddhas who are surrounded only by bodhisattvas. There are Buddhas who are surrounded only by Sravakas. There are Buddhas who are surrounded by both bodhisattvas and Sravakas. This is why the Prajnaparamita Sutra says here that, in order to acquire an entourage composed exclusively of bodhisattvas, the bodhisattva must practice the Prajnaparamita. There are three kinds of entourage: superior, middling and inferior. The inferior one is made up of Sravakas alone. The middling one is a mixture of Sravakas and bodhisattvas. The superior one consists only of bodhisattvas. 5. Purifying great offerings. The bodhisattva wishes to purify great offerings. Some say, the bodhisattva collects much merit but does not eliminate his afflictive emotions. That is why by accepting the pious offerings of people, he does not purify them. But the Buddha has said that for the bodhisattva who is practicing the perfection of wisdom, all dharmas are empty and non-existent, and all the more so the fetters. Once having entered into the fundamental element, the Bodhisattva does not realize the limit of the truth. This is why he is able to purify the gifts made to him. Furthermore, the Bodhisattva has very great merits. From the first production of the mind of body, he wants to take the place of each being in particular to undergo all the sufferings in that being's place. He wants to give all his merits to all beings and only after that to find the body of the Buddhas for himself. But not being able to realize such a task alone, he will end up becoming Buddha and saving all beings. Furthermore, the altruistic wishes of the Bodhisattva are beyond calculation. As the world of beings, the tathata, the dharmadhatu, the bhutakoti, the akasa, etc. last for a long time, so the intention of the Bodhisattva to remain in the world for the benefit of beings is of long duration as well and knows no limits. If such a man cannot purify the merits of the offerings made to him, who then can? A father and a mother, however heavy their fetters, dedicate their entire lives so that their son may be very fortunate. How then could the Bodhisattva, who has no fetters and who for an infinite number of lifetimes dedicates himself to the welfare of beings, be unable to purify the offerings? Finally, if a Bodhisattva endowed only with compassion but without wisdom is already so beneficial, what can be said of the Bodhisattva cultivating the perfection of wisdom? Question. But how can the Bodhisattva who has no more fetters still take on rebirths in the world? Answer. I have already answered that above. The Bodhisattva who has obtained the acquiescence that dharmas do not arise, who has obtained a body born of the fundamental element, who manifests by metamorphosis in different places, is able to save beings and adorn the universes. As a result of these merits, even before becoming Buddha, he can purify the offerings. Dustachita Parivarjana. 4th section, Avoiding Evil Minds. Sutra. Moreover, Sariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva who wishes to not produce thoughts of avarice, immorality, malice, laziness, distraction or false wisdom should practice the perfection of wisdom. Sastra. These 6 kinds of minds that are evil close the door to the 6 perfections. 1. Mind of avarice. Thus, when the Bodhisattva is practicing generosity and a mind of avarice arises in him, it makes the gift impure. Sometimes, he will not give pure things. Or if he gives external things, he does not give a lot of them. Or if he gives inwardly, he does not give fully. All of this because of the thought of avarice. But if the Bodhisattva cultivates the perfection of wisdom, he knows that all dharmas are without me, without mine, empty, like a dream, like a magic show. Then he gives his body, his head, his eyes, his bones, his marrow as if they were ordinary bits of grass or pieces of wood. Although this Bodhisattva has not yet attained Sambodhi, he always avoids